Coming in at our number 10 spot, we have the Goddess of Death statue. The ancient limestone statue known as the Woman from Lem, or more infamously known as the Goddess of Death, has been the subject of much speculation and superstition since its discovery in Cyprus in 1878. Dating back all the way to 3500 BC, the true purpose of the statue is shrouded in complete mystery, but it is believed to have been used as either a fertility symbol or a representation of a long-forgotten goddess. Despite its small and unassuming appearance, the statue has been linked to a series of tragic events that have befallen each of its owners throughout the years. The first recorded owner of the statue was Lord Alphonse, who lost all 7 of his family members within 6 years of acquiring this piece. The curse continued with Ivor Medici, the statue's second owner, whose entire family died within 4 years of obtaining it. Lord Thompson Noel suffered a very similar fate, losing his entire family within 4 years of possessing the statue. The final owner, Sir Alan Biverbrook, and his family also met an untimely death after acquiring the statue. In an effort to break the curse, Biverbrook's 2 surviving sons decided to donate the statue to the Royal Scottish Museum in Edinburgh. However, even the museum curator who handled the statue met an untimely end within a year of its acquisition. Today, the statue remains safely well behind a glass at the museum. At our number 9 spot, we have the Dark Mirror. The Dark Mirror is a very creepy mirror that has gained notoriety due to its disturbing vision it allegedly brings to those who gaze into it. It was obtained by the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult from a woman whose mother had purchased it at a psychic expo. The mirror appears to use the energy of the gazer and show them their deepest fears and nightmares, including visions of their own corpse. The mirror is best used in psychomantium, which is a setup in an enclosed area with only darkness used to communicate with spirits. Visitors to the museum have reported seeing themselves age, wink, smile, and even disappear during these sessions. The dark mirror has caused headaches, feelings of dread, and an intense electrical energy in some people as well. The previous owner of the mirror became withdrawn after trying to perfect her divination skills using the mirror and eventually kept it in a closet, saying that it was evil. Despite the negative experiences associated with the mirror, some people have been brave enough to try it for themselves, with some reporting only seeing their reflection while others see something else completely. The mirror still remains a mystery and its true powers and purpose remain unknown. At number 8 spot, we have the Bassano vase. This vase is a pretty little thing and pretty old too. Cast from silver in the 15th century and produced in a very simple design, it is one of the most mysterious and elusive haunted objects in the world. Originally, the vase was a wedding present for an Italian bride who lived in a small village in Napoli. On the woman's wedding night, she was found slowly passing away on the floor. Her hands were wrapped tightly around the silver vase, and in her dying breaths, the bride vowed to have her revenge and then passed away. Ever since, every owner of the vase has passed away tragically and in very mysterious ways. It was hidden away until it got auctioned, and upon looking inside of the vase, there was a note inside saying, quote, "Beware, this vase brings death." It was then sold 3 different times in different auctions, but every single owner would pass away. Eventually, it was buried, and now no one knows where it's located, and that's probably for the better. Others believe it was taken in by a museum, but after a number of mysterious deaths from staff members, they decided to hide it from the public's eyes. Coming in at our number 7 spot, we have the Baker's wedding dress. This dress belonged to Anna Baker, who was a part of a wealthy family located in Altoona, Pennsylvania. They would reside in what is known as the Baker Mansion in 1849, the same year Anna fell in love with a man and planned to get married. But her father Elias was like, no, that's not happening. It's believed he said no because he was a part of a different social class. He didn't want the marriage to happen so bad, he even got the man banished from the town. Anna was heartbroken as a result and just begged her dad, but her dad just kept telling her no. She then went on her way to buy her own dress, which is the one in this picture, and showed her father, and he was still very adamant on his decision. So in spite of her father, she never married even after death. Fast forward to 1922, all the members of the Baker family passed away, and the mansion had been bought by the Blair County Historical Society and then turned into a museum. In the museum, guests report seeing the glass of the dress being shaken violently, and others report seeing a woman apparition in a black dress staring into this display, and perhaps it's Anna from the grave. But I guess we'll never know. At number 6 spot, we have the Dybbuk box. In June last year, Post Malone visited the Haunted Museum in downtown Las Vegas with Zach Bagans, host of the TV show Ghost Adventures. Bagans took Malone into the most notorious room in the museum, which held the Dybbuk box, widely considered the world's most haunted object. The cabinet is haunted by a Dybbuk, which is a malicious spirit, and was first put up on sale on eBay in 2012. According to the seller's description, it was purchased from a Holocaust survivor's granddaughter who brought it in Spain after escaping escaping the occupied Poland at the time. Manis, the buyer, found a series of strange items inside, including 2 pennies, locks of hair, a small statue engraved with the Hebrew word shalom, a golden wine goblet, a dried rosebud, and a single candle holder with octopus-shaped legs. The box passed through a few hands before the last owner consulted with rabbis on how to seal it for good. Then Post Malone's was with Baggins when he decided to touch the box for the very first time, and Malone grabbed Baggins' shoulder while he was doing so. The curse was apparently transferred to Post Malone, and he experienced a series of unfortunate events. His private plane was forced to make an emergency landing after its tires blew out. 3 armed robbers targeted a home in San Fernando Valley that they believed to be his, and his Rolls Royce was involved in a serious car accident. The Dybbuk box has a long history of strange occurrences surrounding it, with previous owners experiencing horrific nightmares, strokes, and physical ailments. In the hump of our list, we have the Ring of Silvanus. This is a cursed ring that was first owned by a Roman man named Silvanus. This was a rather large ring with a diameter of 1 inch, so it was believed she wore this on her thumb or even over her glove. But one day, his ring was stolen from him. He believed it was taken from a man named Sinicanus, and Silvanus then proceeded to place a curse on the guy by heading up to a temple and creating a lead plate naming it the Cursed Tablet. On this tablet, he wrote, quote, "For the god Nodin, Silvanus has lost a ring and donated 1/2 of its worth to the Nodins. Among those named Sinicanus, permit no good health until it is returned to the temple of the Nodins." It is believed whoever owns the ring will fall ill, get into accidents, or have things happen to them which will lead them to everlasting suffering. And fun fact, this is the same ring that inspired Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, so it kind of makes sense. In 1785, it was found on a random farm, but now it is placed in good hands in a museum that is not known, which is probably for the better since no one will be ever to place this curse on their finger ever again. At a number 4 spot, we have the Busby Stoop Chair. In 1702, Thomas Busby was convicted of murdering his own stepfather. Story goes that on his way to his execution, he requested one final thing. This request would be simply to have one last drink in his favorite pub. Nothing harmful, right? So the judge decided to let him do it. After permission was granted, he decided to have a beer in his favorite chair at the bar. Here is where it gets kind of worse. After finishing his drink, he said aloud, quote, "May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit in my chair." He was then escorted to his execution, and his body would be displayed right outside of the inn for all to see. Over the years, death struck many who sat in the chair, leading the landlord to donate it to the Thirst Museum in England. Locals claim that during the Second World War, Canadian airmen from the nearby base at Skipton-on-Swale went to the pub, and those who sat in this chair never returned home from their bombing missions over mainland Europe. To avoid anyone sitting on it, they suspended it 5 feet in the air to stop any future tragedy. Regardless, this chair looks super uncomfortable, so I wouldn't even know if I want to sit on it, cursed or not. At a number 3 spot, we have the Okiku doll. Let me start this off by saying that this haunted doll is worse than Chucky. The story starts in 1918 Japan. Older brother Aikichi Suzuki bought a doll for his 2-year-old daughter Okiku. The doll had a black bob cut and a traditional kimono. His sister loved the doll so much that she even named it after her own name. These two would become so attached like no other. But in the following year, Okiku became gravely ill and ended up passing away. To commemorate her, her family put her favorite doll on her memorial shrine. Everything seemed fine until after a few days they would begin to notice something very strange. The doll's hair seemed to be actively growing, and every time it was cut, it would just keep on growing until it just reached just above her knees, which actually happened to be the place where the human Okiku's hair stopped. Eventually her family would move away, but choose to keep the doll in the same place, thinking that Okiku would have wanted that. Now it resides in the Menenji Temple, where it's said that monks will cut the hair regularly as it keeps on growing. At number 2 spot, we have Annabelle. I know you heard this one, but it's too good of a cursed object to leave out of this list. For all who don't know, the doll's name Annabelle comes from the alleged spirit who possesses it. In the early 1970s, a young college student named Donna gave the doll to Ed and Lorraine Warren, a now famous pair of paranormal investigators. Originally, Donna received the doll as a gift from her mother, who purchased it in an antique shop. Over time, Donna and her roommate noticed that the doll had a tendency to move, be it from locations throughout the apartment or positions upright, legs crossed, etc. After more paranormal activity, the girls contacted the Warrens, who decided the doll contained a demon straight from hell. When an exorcism failed to do the trick, the Warrens agreed to move the doll to a secure location inside of a glass box at their museum in Connecticut. Unfortunately, their museum has been since closed down and only a small select few can still visit. So best believe this museum is locking away all these evil objects contained in the building now, and probably for very good reason. Coming in at a number 1 spot, we have the Terracotta Army. This is a one-of-a-kind 2200-year-old funerary art. The Terracotta Army is considered the most priceless archaeological discovery of modern times. However, for those 7 farmers who discovered it back in 1974, the warriors have been proved more of a curse than a blessing. Soon after the discovery, their farmlands were claimed by the government and their homes were demolished to make way for exhibition halls and various gift shops. Upon the 7, one took their own life while the other ones passed away tragically since they couldn't afford healthcare. Some have blamed the government for their passing while others believe this is a similar curse to Tut's tomb. Coming in at number 10, we have the Baker's wedding dress. This dress belonged to Anna Baker, who was a part of a wealthy family located in Altoona, Pennsylvania. They would reside in what is known as the Baker Mansion in 1849. Which is the same year Anna fell in love with a man and planned to get married, but her father Elias was like, no, not happening. It's believed he said that because he was a part of a different social class. He didn't want this marriage to happen so bad, he even got the man banished from town. Anna was heartbroken and begged her dad, but her dad just kept telling her no. She then went out of her way to buy her own dress like the one in the photo, and then showed her father, and he still was very adamant on saying no. So in spite of her father, she never married even till after his death. Fast forward all the way to 1922, all the members of the Baker family passed away and the mansion had been bought by the Blair County Historical Society and turned into a museum. In the museum, guests reported seeing the glass of the dress being shaken violently. Others report seeing a woman apparition in a black dress staring into this display. Perhaps it's Anna from the grave, but we'll never know. Stealing our number 9 spot, we have the Woman from Lem statue. Often regarded as the goddess of death, this stone figurine was most likely a fertility statue. Most of its features wore away by the time it was uncovered in Lem, Cyprus in 1878. But that didn't stop it from becoming one of the most cursed objects in history. Lord Elephant, no, not an actual elephant. Well, he was the statue's first owner, and after a brief moment with the statue, he, along with 6 family members, would meet their demise. The same thing would happen to the figure's next owners, including the last Sir Alan Beaverbrook. He and his wife, along with his daughters, passed away shortly after taking possession of the statue. His remaining sons then donated the statue to a museum where the curator would also pass away shortly after touching it. Now the statue is kept behind a glass and nowhere close to being touched in the future again. Coming at number 8, we have the Dybbuk box. The Dybbuk box is a wine cabinet claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk. If you don't know what a Dybbuk is basically a malicious possessing spirit believed to be the lost soul of a person who passed away. This mahogany box was then auctioned off by eBay owner Kevin Manis. It was said that the box had origins to Jews in the Holocaust and would often radiate paranormal activity. It gained so much fame that it even inspired the 2012 horror film The Possession. Just like in the movie, the box contained a Dybbuk and if opened will release a spirit, causing a chain reaction of misfortune and illnesses. Surprisingly, at our number 7 spot, we have an elephant's foot. This is both a curse and a natural phenomenon, and you'll see why. On April 26, 1986, Unit 4 of the Chernobyl plant exploded during a test of the turbine's generation systems.
Some of them will not stop firing for 50,000 years.
The air above the plant was being poisoned and all the rods inside of the generator started to melt down through its protective container.
I'm pleased to report that the situation in Chernobyl is stable.
This would create a mass known as the elephant's foot. This radioactive blob was only discovered months after, and at this point, it was estimated to weigh around 11 tons and is said to be the most dangerous object on Earth. You don't believe me? Well, here's a fun fact. Well, not really, but everyone who came into contact with the foot or took photos of it passed away shortly after.
You're dead.
To this day, there's no way to get rid of it, so they just built a protective cover over it, and it's just kind of laying there forever waiting for its next victims. At a number 6 spot, we have a cursed number. This wasn't exactly an object, but a phone number. But who knows, maybe the devil has a phone. The numbers 088888888 have been linked to so many deaths that has been suspended completely from being used. The phone number was created in 2001 by a Bulgarian mobile company called Mobitel. And this number was used by the owner and CEO of that company, Vladimir Grashnov. He ended up passing away of cancer that same year, but others suspect he was radioactively poisoned by a business rival. The number was then transferred to a mob boss in 2003. He then got shot and passed away while he was out at a regular dinner with his own family. Then the last person to have this number was a Bulgarian again, but he was a businessman who was then shot and passed away in 2005. Mobitel has now suspended the number from being used forever. So do you think the deaths are a mere coincidence, or is it proof of a cell phone curse? Right in the hump of our list, we have the Belcourt Castle chairs. These haunted chairs located in Belfort Castle in Rhode Island are more commonly known as the salt chair / throne. This is because people used to store salt in this chair as it was a valuable form of trading back then. However, after many years of being in the same spot, visitors would begin to notice that whenever they would go near the chairs, their hands would start to feel cold and prickly. And if someone tries to sit in the chair, invisible resistance could be felt. In one strange case, a man was actually thrown out of the chair when he attempted to sit on it. Legends say the spirit of the owner is stuck inside the chair after he faced a terrible death, which was taking a spear right in the eye. I know, it's pretty gruesome. You probably heard this one, but at our number 4 spot, we have the Terracotta Army. This is a one-of-a-kind 2,200-year-old funerary art. The Terracotta Army is considered the most priceless archaeological discovery of modern times. However, for those 7 farmers who discovered it back in 1974, the warriors have proved more of a curse than a blessing. Soon after the discovery, their farmlands were claimed by the government and all of their homes were demolished to make way for exhibition halls and various gift shops. Upon the 7, one took their own life while the others passed away tragically since they couldn't even afford healthcare. All the way at our number 3 spot, we have the Cursed Mirror. Located in a historical home and former plantation, the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana is considered one of the most haunted places in America. There are many creepy urban legends surrounding the property, but the tale of the Cursed Mirror is probably one of the most famous. According to the legend, the former owner of the house, Sarah Woodruff, and her 2 daughters were poisoned by their slave and trapped inside the mirror. Visitors of the house reporting seeing handprints, strange marks, and even figures dressed in an old-fashioned clothes lurking around the mirror. Coming number 2, and you probably know this one, but we have Annabelle. I know you heard this one, but it's just too good of a cursed item to leave out of this list. For those who don't know, the doll's name is Annabelle, which comes from an alleged girl who possesses it. In the early 1970s, a young college student named Donna gave the doll to Ed and Lorraine Warren, a now famous pair of paranormal investigators. Originally, Donna sold the doll as a gift from her mother, who purchased it at an antique shop. Over time, Donna and her roommate quickly noticed that the doll had a tendency to move around the apartment and be in weird positions like upright and its leg crossed. After more paranormal activity, the girls contacted the Warrens, who decided the doll contained a demon straight out of hell. When an exorcism failed to do the trick, the Warrens agreed to move the doll to a secure location inside of a glass box at their museum in Connecticut. Now, you can go to the museum and check this doll out. Coming in at our number 1 spot of our list, we have the Bassano vase. This vase is a pretty little thing and old too. Casted from silver in the 15th century and produced in a simple design, it is one of the most mysterious and elusive haunted objects of all time. Originally, the vase was a wedding present for an Italian bride who lived in a small village close to Napoli. On the woman's wedding night, she was found slowly passing away on the floor, and her hands were wrapped tightly around the silver vase, and in her dying breaths, the bride vowed to have her revenge and then passed away. Ever since, every single owner of the vase has passed away tragically and in mysterious ways. It was hidden away for some time until it finally got auctioned. Upon looking into the vase, there was a small note saying, quote, "Beware, this vase brings death," was found. It was sold 3 different times in different auctions, but every owner would pass away shortly after, which would pass along the vase from owner to owner. Eventually, it was buried, and now no one knows where it's located. Number 10, the Antikythera mechanism. The Antikythera mechanism is an ancient artifact that has long fascinated scientists and historians alike. It is believed to be the world's first mechanical computer, and it was discovered in a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera, where it has been buried under 45 meters of water. Today, the mechanism is housed at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, where it continues to captivate visitors with its intricate design and advanced level of technology. Upon examining the mechanism, experts were amazed by the level of craftsmanship and sophistication it displayed. The device is made up of a box with dials on the outside and a complex assembly of gears mounted inside. It is estimated to be about as complex as an 18th century top-notch clock, despite being over 2,100 years old. In fact, the level of expertise and attention to detail seen in the mechanism's construction was not seen again in Europe until the development of mechanical astronomical clocks in the 14th century. But the real mystery of the Antikythera mechanism lies in how it came to be. Based on what we know of ancient Greek technology at the time, it shouldn't even exist at all. there are no known writings or records of similar devices from the period of its creation, leading some to wonder if it may be from an advanced as yet undiscovered civilization. Whatever the cause may be, the Antikythera mechanism remains a truly captivating and unexplained artifact that continues to puzzle experts to this day. Number 9. The London Hammer. The London Hammer is a small hammer that has been the subject of much debate and speculation among those who believe in ancient civilizations and advanced technology. And this is all because it's supposedly 400 million years old. Yeah, you heard that right. The hammer was found in London, Texas in 1936 by a couple who were out walking and they noticed it sticking out of a rock. The rock in which the hammer was found is dated to be around 400 million years old, which has led some to believe that the hammer is evidence of an ancient civilization with advanced technology. And yes, it's only a hammer, so I don't know how advanced this could actually be. There are several theories about the London hammer and its possible origins. Some believe that it is a tool made by an ancient civilization, while others believe it is a modern tool that was somehow placed inside of the rock. There are also those who believe that the hammer is all just a big hoax, created in order to mislead people into believing in these ancient civilizations and advanced technology. Despite the many theories about this hammer, there is no conclusive evidence about its true origins. Other scientists have found that the hammer does contain unusual features that could have been created using modern technology, which leaves the questions of its origins up for debate. Number 8. The Disc of Sabu. The ancient Egyptian civilization is filled with wonders and mysteries that have puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries. One such enigma is the so-called Disc of Sabu, which is a circular stone object that was discovered in 1936 by a British Egyptologist, Mr. Walter Brian Emery, in the tomb of Prince Sabu. Prince Sabu was the first dynasty governor and son of Pharaoh Enedjib. Measuring 610 millimeters in diameter and 104 millimeters in height, the artifact is made of metasiltstone and has 3 thin curving lobes around its periphery, as well as 3 biconvex holes separating the lobes from the rim. In the center of the disc is a thin tube that is roughly 10 centimeters in diameter. And despite numerous studies and theories, the true purpose of the disc remains a complete mystery. Some experts believe that it may have been used as a musical instrument, while others think it is a battery used for electrotherapy. The fact that the artifact was found in a royal tomb suggests it may have held some sort of special significance, but the exact nature of the significance remains unknown. Whatever its true purpose, the Disc of Sabu is a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of the ancient Egyptians, who were able to create objects that continue to intrigue us for thousands of years. Number 7. The Baghdad Battery. The Baghdad Battery is an ancient artifact that has puzzled archaeologists for years, dating back to the Parthian period, which is from 250 BC to 224 AD. This mysterious object consists of a clay jar with a copper cylinder and an iron rod inside. It has long been speculated that the Baghdad Battery was used for some kind of electrical device, perhaps even a primitive form of a battery. The theory that the Baghdad Battery was used as a source of electricity was first proposed in 1938 by William Koenig, the director of the National Museum of Iraq. Since then, various researchers have attempted to recreate the device in order to understand its true purpose. Some have suggested it may have been used for electrotherapy, while others believe that it may have been used as a galvanic cell to electroplate objects. Despite numerous attempts to recreate and understand the mystery of the Baghdad Battery, its true purpose still is unknown. The lack of any written history or documentation from the time period has made it difficult to determine exactly how the device was used. Number 6. The Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript is a mysterious document dating back to the 15th century that has confounded researchers for decades. Considered to be the world's most mysterious book, it is written in an unknown script by an unknown writer. As well, the book is written in an unknown language and filled with intricate drawings of plants, stars, and other seemingly unrelated illustrations. So the meaning and purpose of the manuscript has remained a mystery for a long time. Some suggest that the manuscript was written by medieval monks, while others believe it could be the work of an alchemist or a scientist. It was first discovered in 1912 by rare book dealer Wilfred M. Voynich, who believed it to be a coded message written by the famous scientist Roger Bacon. Since its discovery, numerous attempts have been made to decode the document, but none have been successful. Many believe that the text is written in a constructed language or code, and some have even suggested that it could be the example of extraterrestrial communication. Despite numerous theories and attempts at decoding, the Voynich manuscript remains one of the world's most enduring mysteries. Its enigmatic dramatic illustrations and strange language continues to fascinate researchers and the general public alike, and has inspired numerous works of fiction and speculation ever since its discovery. In the hump of our list, we have the Tamil Bell. The Tamil Bell is a fascinating and mysterious ancient artifact that has intrigued experts for centuries. It was first discovered in the 19th century in the ruins of a temple in Tamil Nadu, India, and is made of a metal alloy that has not been identified. The bell is decorated with intricate carvings and inscription in an unknown language, and is thought to be around 2,000 years old. In 1870, the inscriptions were identified as Ancient Tamil, which is a language that hadn't been used for hundreds of years. The inscriptions were translated to the bell of the ship of Mahadin Baksh, indicating that the owner was a Muslim Tamil of great stature from a famous Indian shipping company. In 1940, the age of the Tamil Bell was estimated to be 400 to 500 years old, dating back to the period between 1400 to 1500 AD. This has led some people to believe that there was outside contact with New Zealand hundreds of years ago before English Captain Thomas Cook arrived in 1769. However, there is little evidence to support this theory, and the true mystery of the Tamil Bell still remains a mystery. Others believe it to be a religious artifact made by an ancient civilization, while others believe it to be a tool or device used for some unknown purpose. Number 4, the Bagon Pipes. The Bagon Pipes are a series of iron pipes that has been found in the Qinghai province of China near Mount Bagon. These pipes range in size from toothpicks to the size of a football field, and they're estimated to be around 150,000 years old. This is a pretty big deal because the area wasn't even inhabited by humans until around 30,000 years ago, according to many Chinese historians. So who built these pipes and for what purpose? That's the question that has been puzzling researchers for years. Some believe that they may have been built by an ancient civilization or even from extraterrestrial beings. The Chinese Academy of Social Sciences has not dismissed the possibility, with researcher Yang Ji stating that the pyramid located near the pipes may have been created by intelligent creatures. Other theories include the possibility that the pipes are the result of iron-rich magma forcing its way up through the Earth's fissures, or that they are simply fossilized tree roots that have accumulated over time. The odd thing is that the pipes have also been found to contain 8% of unidentified material, as well as the residue of radioactive material. The true mystery and origin of the Bagon Pipes remains a mystery, but it certainly is an intriguing and unexplained phenomena that continues to capture the attention and imagination of many. Number 3, the Piri Reis Map. The Piri Reis Map is a historical document that has garnered much attention and controversy over the years, more specifically for showing that Antarctica was ice-free. Created in the early 16th century by Ottoman Turkish admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, the map is known for its detailed and accurate depiction of the coast and features of the New World. This included South America, the Caribbean, and parts of the east coast of North America. In addition to these features, the map also includes notes of the geography, climate, and indigenous people of the regions depicted. However, it is the depiction of the northern coast of Antarctica on the Piri Reis map that has sparked the most controversy. According to the map, the northern coast of Antarctica is shown as being ice-free, which some believe suggests that the continent was mapped before it was covered in ice. This idea has been met with skepticism, as there is no historical or scientific evidence to support it. In fact, geological evidence suggests that the latest date that the Queen Maud landed in Antarctica could have been charted as an ice-free state is around 4000 BC. Whatever is the truth about the Piri Reis map, one thing is for certain: it continues to question everything we thought was true about Antarctica. Number 2, the Dropa Stones. In 1938, an expedition led by archaeologist Dr. Chipu Te in China made an intriguing discovery in a nearby cave. Buried under layers of dust, the team found hundreds of stone discs scattered throughout the cave. The discs were about 9 inches in diameter and had a circle cut into the center, and it featured an obvious spiral groove around it. Initially, there seemed to be nothing particularly special about the disc, but upon further examination, it became clear that they're eerily similar to phenograph records. It is believed that these stones are more than 10,000 years old. The spiral grooves on the disc turned out to be made of tiny hieroglyphs, and when these were studied and translated, it was revealed that the disc told the story of spaceships that had crashed into the mountains, piloted by people who referred to themselves as the Dropa. This interpretation was made by a Chinese researcher who announced its findings to the world. However, his announcement was met with ridicule from the scientific community, and this caused him to go into self-imposed exile in Japan. The Soviet magazine Sputnik later reported on an experiment in which the discs were placed on a special turntable and were observed to vibrate or hum in an unusual rhythm, as if an electrical charge was passing through them. Despite this, further research was not made public and it is unclear if the Dropa stones still exist or if they're even real in the first place. Ernst Wegerer, an Austrian engineer, claims to have seen and photographed 2 of the stones, but they and the manager who allowed them to view them have since disappeared, adding to the mystery surrounding the artifact. Number 1. The Roman dodecahedron. The Roman dodecahedron is a mysteriously crafted metal object that has puzzled archaeologists for centuries. These 12-sided objects have been found at dozens of sites across northern Europe, dating back to the 1st and 5th century CE. But their purpose still remains unknown. More than 100 of these dodecahedrons have been discovered, ranging in size from about the size of a golf ball to slightly larger than a baseball. Each one is hollow and has 12 equally sized faces, each with a hole of varying diameter. Despite the obvious craftsmanship that went into these objects, there is no written documentation of them in historical sources. As a result, there has been many theories about the purpose of them. Some believe that they are used as a military banner ornament or some type of weapon, such as the head of a mace or a metal bullet for a handheld sling. However, these theories have been largely dismissed as the objects are too lightweight to be effective weapons. Others think that they may have been used for education or as a measuring tool for fabrics. One researcher even proposed that they may be used as a rangefinder by the Roman military.
Number 10. Organs. A study done by George Mason University in 2019 revealed that you can actually purchase organs on the dark web. Here's what the research paper stated. Due to the scarcity of transplantable organs, patients must typically wait on long lists for many years to get a matching kidney. This scarcity has created an illicit marketplace for wealthy recipients to avoid long waiting times. Brokers arrange such organ transplants and collect most of the payment that is sometimes channeled to fund other illicit activities. In order to collect and disperse payments, they often resort to money laundering-like schemes of money transfers. As the low-cost internet arrives in some of the affected countries, social media and the dark web are used to illegally trade human organs. This paper presents a model to assess the risk of human organ trafficking in specific areas and shows methods and tools to discover digital traces of organ trafficking using publicly available tools. Number 9. Social security numbers. After your social security number is plastered on the dark web, opening new accounts in your name isn't the only thing you have to worry about. Fraudsters can use your social security number and other personal information they find on the dark web to impersonate you and to gain access to your credit cards. Once someone gains access to your credit card, they can begin piling on the charges. If you're not closely monitoring your credit card activity, the charges can quickly get out of hand. Many companies offer credit monitoring plans that help combat credit card hacking. For example, AAA offers Protect My ID, a complimentary credit monitoring service for all AAA members. Signing up for a credit monitoring service can help you keep your identity safe, while giving you peace of mind. Another way to monitor your credit cards is to sign up for alerts. Most creditors will send you an alert when a purchase has been made or a payment is due. These notifications can help you keep track of your credit card transactions at all times. And plus, I think some of them send you notifications for fraudulent stuff. Number 8. Credit cards. A dark web carding market named Biden Cash has released a massive dump of 1,221,551 credit cards to promote their marketplace, allowing anyone to download them for free to conduct financial fraud. Carding is the trafficking and use of credit cards stolen through point-of-sale malware, mage card attacks on websites, or information-stealing malware. Biden Cash is a stolen cards marketplace launched in June 2022, leaking a few thousand cards as a promotional move. Now, the market's operators decided to promote the site with a much more massive dump in the same fashion that the similar platform All World Cards did in August 2021. The threat actors announced the credit card dump on new URLs Biden Cash launched late last month in response to DDoS attacks, so it could be a way to promote the new shop domains. Number 7. 3D printed objects? That 3D printing could be used for a crime was already on many people's minds years ago. Law enforcement agencies have been learning about 3D printing for the past few decades in order to discover how it can be used for crime. Whereas the popular media has focused on 3D printing guns, actual criminality with 3D printing is being done in a different way. 3D printing guns are a bit of a self-invented, self-fulfilling prophecy by the media whereby enough attention will result in money and supporters being directed to increase the effort of 3D printing guns. 3D printing guns guns will only be an actual thing to worry about if the media has generated enough interest in it for it to be developed further. Even then, there are plenty of other tools with which one could manufacture guns. On the other hand, 3D printing is being used worldwide by criminals to aid in their crimes. The way through which this is being done is to hide things. Number 6, Netflix accounts. For as cheap as $1. There is no such thing as free Netflix accounts, unless you're using a stolen one. The darknet is host to numerous illegal activities, and a good chunk of it consists of selling hacked or compromised streaming accounts. Fortunately, securing the Netflix account so you don't unwittingly share it with someone is a straightforward process. The so-called passwordless revolution is here, with biometric authentication hailed as a hero. However, we're a long way from such a drastic change, and passwords will remain a constant in our lives for years. The same passwords are a bane to cybersecurity because of human nature. The passwords people most commonly use to secure their online account remain pretty much the same year after year. The infamous password top 10 list doesn't seem to change significantly, which tells us that people continue using weak, common, or easily guessable credentials. Number 5, stolen goods. Online stolen goods are numerous, and are mainly goods that are easy to steal and sell. Such items include a mix of everyday consumer goods such as razors, deodorants, and denim pants. Organized crime groups are now involved in retail theft. They are driven by the ability to easily and almost anonymously sell the stolen goods online. Online platforms give criminals access to shoppers they would not otherwise reach and allow them to sell the stolen merchandise directly. Criminals can offer a stolen iPhone, for example, on eBay. Here they can bid and move it more quickly. Another common way to sell stolen goods online is called e-fencing. A fence is the one who buys stolen goods on purpose to resell later. In fact, marketplaces like eBay make fencing highly accessible. Also, dedicated websites offer customers to change stolen items to cash. Websites such as cash4gold.com make it easy for criminals to sell stolen jewelry. Criminals can steal jewelry they know is accepted by the website, easily sell it on the website, and get cash. Reselling stolen items is also carried out through auction sales sites and social media. Number 4, Silk Road. Silk Road was an online black market and the first modern darknet market. It was launched in 2011 by its American founder Ross Ulbricht under the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts. As part of the dark web, Silk Road operated as a hidden service on the Tor network, allowing users to buy and sell products and services between each other anonymously. All transactions were conducted with Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency which aided in protecting user identities. The website was known for its illegal substance marketplace, among other illegal and legal product listing. In October 2013, the Federal Bureau of Investigation shut down Silk Road and arrested Ulbricht. Silk Road 2.0 came online a couple months ago, run by former site administrators, but was shut down the following year as part of Operation Onimus. In 2015, Ulbricht was convicted in federal court for multiple charges relating to operating Silk Road and was given 2 life sentences without possibility of parole. Number 3, uranium. On a well-hidden corner of the internet, a user going by the name of FRIM has a question. Ever wanted to start your own reactor or build nukes? Well, this is probably the only missing component you needed and couldn't get until now. The missing component FRIM promises is a small quantity of uranium ore. On sale for 0.2549 bitcoins or a large sum of money. FRIM is selling uranium on Evolution, which is currently the largest of the so-called darknet marketplaces on the internet, where enterprising vendors offer everything from substances to weapons to stolen credit card numbers. The markets tend to have a short shelf life, and the first and most well-known, Silk Road, was shut down by the FBI. Its successor, Silk Road 2.0, was seized a couple months ago. FRIM knows this. Who knows how long Evolution will last? He/she asks at the end of the uranium listing. That's why you need to order lots of uranium now so you don't miss out on your dreams to threaten the UN with nukes in your lifetime. Winky face. That's a bit grim, FRIM. Number 2, fake degrees. The market for fake diplomas is a booming one. Sixgill has identified multiple vendors selling degrees and accreditation that seemingly looks legitimate. One selling a fake London Metropolitan University diploma proudly boasts about the quality of the paper and the embossed seal, and how it's the identical size to the original. The vendor states that it is perfect to be used at places where they just do cursory inspection, where they just look at the seal and appearance of the degree itself without doing any cursory checks. Perhaps what is most striking is the diversity of fake degrees available. While there are some from prestigious institutions like Oxford University, Cambridge University, and Harvard, the majority are from ordinary schools, like Liverpool John Moores University, Middlesex University, and the University of Northern Iowa. Number 1. Uber accounts. At least 2 vendors on the dark web marketplace named Alphabay are allegedly selling Uber accounts. The accounts are said to let buyers order trips using whatever payment method attached to the accounts, while also providing them with the full trip history, email addresses, phone numbers, and even location information of people's home and work address stored on the accounts. The price for such an account is said to be as low as $1, but it could get to $5, a price that won't even get you around the block with a taxi. One of the sellers is said to have sold over 100 accounts to other buyers, but a lot more accounts are estimated to have been sold by now. We investigated and found no evidence of a breach, an Uber spokesperson told The Verge. Attempting to fraudulently access or sell accounts is illegal, and we notified the authorities about this report. This is a good opportunity to remind people to use strong and unique usernames and passwords, and to avoid reusing the same credentials across multiple sites and services. The method used to acquire the accounts is not clear yet, but this comes after Uber disclosed the information about 50,000 of its drivers had been accessed by a third party in May. The latter might indicate that a security breach might have been found in the company's system and exploited to get access to the user's account credentials.
Starting at number 10, we have the Battle of Tippecanoe. The Battle of Tippecanoe was fought all the way back in November 7, 1811. This was an American and Native American showdown located right in the heart of Indiana. This battle saw the defeat of Native American leader Tecumseh by former American President William Henry Harrison. Tecumseh's brother Tenskwata, sorry for the mispronunciation, aka the Prophet, set a curse on Harrison and all future presidents, saying that they would die in office in a cursed year ending with the number 0. I don't know much about American presidents, but I brought my American historian with me who could tell you all about it.
Thanks for that introduction, Andrew. Harrison would die of pneumonia in 1840. The next cursed president was none other than Abraham Lincoln. He was elected in 1860 and was assassinated. James A. Garfield, who was elected in 1880, and William McKinley in 1900 were both assassinated as well. Lastly, John F. Kennedy was elected in 1960 and was also assassinated. Ronald Reagan was next, but after many failed assassination attempts, it seems like he stopped the curse. Except remember that time someone threw a grenade at Bush and luckily didn't detonate? For 2020, we had Joe Biden, so I wonder if he might be affected.
You missed me, because at number 9 we have the My Way curse. The My Way curse, or might I say the My Way killings, is a social phenomenon in my home country, the Philippines. So all you Filipinos, listen up, because everyone else, and welcome to the weird stuff that goes on in my country. The curse is linked to the song My Way by Frank Sinatra. Oddly, since 2002, there have been an unusually high number of deaths linked to this song, especially when people are singing it during a karaoke performance. And we know how many Filipinos do karaoke, so it's pretty common. I know it sounds like a very odd coincidence, but even news media outlets worldwide have documented it. This includes the respected New York Times. This phenomenon got such a bad reputation that bars in the Philippines had to completely remove it from their karaoke players.
Coming in at number 8, Timur's curse. Tutankhamun might have the most famous tomb curse, but Timur might have the pharaoh beat in terms of success. Timur was a Turco-Mongol conqueror in the 1300s. His remains were entombed in the Guri-i-Mir in Uzbekistan, and his body was dug up in 1941. Reportedly, his tomb contained 2 engravings. One that read, "When I rise from the dead, the world shall tremble," and another inside the casket that read, "Whomsoever opens my tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I." Curses on tombs are not uncommon, but what happened after Timur's tomb was opened changed the course of history. 2 days after Timur was dug up, Adolf launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. Barbarossa remains the largest military invasion in history. Timur was reburied over a year later under Islamic rites, after the Russians successfully managed to push back the invading Germans.
Coming at number 7, we have the Knights Templar curse. The Knights Templar was a Christian military order with the purpose to protect pilgrims in the Holy Land during the Crusade period. They had the power and the money. Philip IV from France sought to seize their wealth and their power. So, in a raid, Grand Master of the Templars, Jacques de Molay, was arrested along with his Templar comrades. Soon after, King Philip pressured Pope Clement V and made him agree to his reasoning. The Pope would issue a bill that made all Christian kings able to seize Templar property, which destroyed the Templar order, and Jacques de Molay was sentenced to death. Jacques, while burning on the stake, said, quote, "France will remember our last moments. We die innocent, and you, O Philip my king, I pardon you, but my forgiveness is in vain, for your life is condemned at the tribunal of God. Within a year I shall await you also." Only 3 days later, Pope Clement would die in agony, and when he was cremated, the fire burned down the church as well. Then King Philip ended up dying at the end of the year and died in great misery and pain. So I guess that curse was also true. Right at number 6, we have the Ring of Silvanus. This was a cursed ring that was first owned by a Roman man named Silvanus. This was a rather large ring with a diameter of 1 inch, so it was believed that they wore this on their thumb or over a glove. But one day his ring was stolen from him. He believed it was taken from a man named Sinicanus. Silvanus then proceeded to place a curse on the man by heading up to a temple and creating a lead plate, naming it the Cursed Tablet. On the tablet he wrote, "For the Northern god Silvanus has lost a ring and donated 1/2 of its worth to the Nodens. Among those named Sinicanus permit no good health until his return to the temple of the Nodens." It's believed whoever owns this ring will fall ill, get into accidents, or have things happen to them which would lead them to an everlasting suffering.
Halfway at number 5, bone pointing. Bone pointing is a practice of Aboriginal Australians in which a Kurtatacha, an executioner, points a bone or another object at a victim. The victim is then said to become sluggish and ill, typically refusing to eat or drink until they succumb to the illness and pass away. While they are hypnotized, the response from the victim is mostly psychosomatic, but that doesn't mean it's treated any less seriously. Belief in the curse is strong enough to have a tangible effect. Now at number 4, Australian soccer. Anything bad happening will have fans claiming their favorite sports team is cursed, but that really seems to be the case with the Australia national soccer team. Reportedly, the team asked a witch doctor to curse their opponents, Rhodesia, in 1969. Did I say that right? The witch doctor did so, but when he asked for $1,000 in payment, the team said they didn't have enough money. Years of bad luck followed to such a degree that some people believed the whole of Australian soccer was cursed. Fed up with the years of losing, John Safran investigated. As it turned out, the original witch doctor had died, so John asked another witch doctor to enter the original stadium and channel his spirit. After a ceremony, which included an animal sacrifice, the team qualified and advanced to the second round of the World Cup in 2006, and they have since qualified for 2 more.
Right at our number 3 spot, we have a cursed number. Can a phone number really be cursed? I mean, the only times I can say it's cursed is when I look at my phone and I have 7 missed calls from my mom. The number 0888888888 have been linked to so many deaths that has been suspended from being even used. The phone number was created in 2001 by a Bulgarian mobile phone company named Mobitel, and this number was used by the owner and CEO of the company, Vladimir Grashnov. He ended up dying of cancer the same year, but others suspect he was radioactively poisoned by a business rival. The number was then transferred to a mob boss. Then in 2003, he got shot and killed when he was out at a regular dinner with his family. Then the last person to have this number was a Bulgarian businessman who was also shot and killed in 2005. Mobitel has now suspended the number forever.
Coming in at number 2, the 27 Club. The 27 Club refers to the famous and talented musicians who died at the age of 27, right from legends like Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison, all of who were very famous rock stars at their time, to the more recent Amy Winehouse, who drank herself to passing away. What is even more bizarre about this curse is that all of them became famous at the age of 25, then passed away 2 years later at age 27. Taking our number 1 spot is Iceman Curse. Back in 1991, the body of an Iceman was discovered in the Alps. It was estimated that the body dates back over 5,000 years, but after his discovery, 7 of the people who found him passed away over the course of 13 years. Now I'm gonna hand it over to my friend all the way up in the Alps, in the mountains, Andrew.
I'm all the way in the Alps. Thank you, Michaela, for the introduction. Now this would have been acceptable had they been of natural causes, but none of them were. One person passed away in a car accident, another one was suffocated in an avalanche, then another one passed away accidentally falling off a cliff, and then another one from a blood disorder. Like, the Iceman curse is currently one of those famous curses of modern times that just scare the lights out of me.